Hey everybody, welcome to Ready Set Drone. Today I have the JJ Pro P130 Battler. This is a FPV ready to fly quad that I got from GearBest. We're going to check it out and give you a few hints on getting it set up, so stay tuned and check it out. Okay, let's start off by talking about just how cool this thing looks. It's got this Digicamo frame, carbon fiber frame. It's fairly thick carbon fiber, very solidly built. I mean, it really feels super solid. It's got camo props, it's got the receiver, it's got the flight controller, it's got the video transmitter. A lot of stuff crammed into this little tiny spot, and a pretty good job of keeping it all nice and neat. Now the ESCs are in the bottom. Those are the electronic speed controllers that integrate with the motors, and as is the receiver, which is back here in the back, and all of this has this bit of plastic rubbery kind of stuff over the top. Now I've done a couple of things to it that I hope will help with my flying. Number one, I zip tied this piece right here. This white zip tie is mine, and the reason I put that on there was twofold. Number one, it was to keep the battery cable, the lead out to the power from getting caught in the props. And number two, it was to just give a little extra barrier here to the receiver, because if you do land hard, you're gonna hit this thing. And so I thought this would just be one more thing to hold it in place and keep it from sliding around. So again, your receiver's down here. And then the other thing that I did was I actually put some Velcro on the battery up here on the top plate. And so this battery, it's pretty tough Velcro. This battery now, I put Velcro there and there. That's just going to help keep the battery from sliding around. And then lastly, these two antennas were both sticking out the back. I put one up top and one in the back. These are your receiver antennas, just to kind of keep them out of the way. This is your transmitter antenna up here in the front. So all of that said, I looked online. I have not actually weighed this thing myself, but it is about 1 kilogram all in with the battery. So it's not a very lightweight, quad as far as racing quads go. It does come with the Naze 32 flight controller, and so that's pretty nice, pretty standard thing. It works with Clean Flight. It works with either a 2S or a 3S battery. It comes with a 3S 850 milliamp hour battery that is right here. It also has the XT60 connector, so it's a pretty standard connector for other batteries, which is nice, so you don't necessarily have to use this one. Although this is a pretty small battery, so I'm curious to see if I can use it with a bigger battery, but the form factor on this and the weight on this is pretty small. Comes with this FlySky radio, which is a decent quality radio. It's not, this isn't going to be like a Taranis or a Spectrum, but it's decent quality for coming with a ready-to-fly quad. This thing does have some auxiliary inputs, and it does have a screen down here to change some things. As a matter of fact, one of my complaints about this quad is that when you get it, your auxiliaries are actually set up on these two pots right here, which unless you know that, it's really difficult to arm it. So you can actually switch your auxiliaries for arming to be this switch, which is what I've changed to be my arm switch. This is my aux1 switch. I switched it to where when it's down like that, you can arm it, and when it's up like that, it's disarmed. So what you have to do is put it down and then pull this stick down into the right, and it will arm it. And then you can also pull it down into the right, it will disarm it, or you can just flip that switch and it won't arm at all. So it's in safety mode. And then this switch here is my aux2. I actually set this up to be my flight mode. So I have a horizon mode and then baro mode. So can switch between this here, and I'm not using any of the switches for anything else. I'm going to show you how to do that real quick, because it took me a few minutes to figure it out. Okay, so you come over here and you hit this button and hold it down. You go into setup, which you move over there, and then hit this button again. And what you want to do is go down to aux channels and hit this button again. And then you see this first one here. Originally it was set for VRA, which is variable A, which is that rotating knob. I don't know why they would have that set as your channel 5, but it shouldn't be. So I went over to, I set it to aux1, actually I set it to SWA, which is switch A, which is this guy up here. So this is now my switch A, and then for the channel 6 I set that to switch B, which is this one here. So that just gives me the ability to use these two switches instead of these dial knobs for arming and for changing. Once you've got it all set, you hold down this button up here and it will accept it. Actually, you know what? You hold down this button down here, which is the cancel button, and that will accept it. You can also, in here, if you want to get really crazy, do a lot of other settings, but let me cancel out of this, and I'll show you one other thing that's kind of cool you can do is you can actually name your quad in here. So if you're going to fly this thing with multiple quads or other vehicles, you go in and you say model name, and then you hit OK, and I called it the P130 Bat for battler, as my son says. So that's what I called it. So that's what this one is. So let's plug it into, once you've changed over those two aux switches, we're going to plug it into CleanFlight, and I'm going to show you real quick what I did with those aux switches. So I am fairly new to CleanFlight. I've been using it for a couple of weeks now, and I'm learning more and more about it. Basically, the way I have it set up is it is a Chrome extension for the browser Chrome on my laptop. If you are running a Mac, you have to download a little driver that allows you to use USB as a serial port. There's more instructions about that. Once you've done it, it's pretty easy to use though. So there is a USB port here in the side of the quad. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. I'm going to set it down here on a nice level surface. And now I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to go to the upper right here and hit connect. And you'll see it's connected here. Now you can see in CleanFlight you get a live view of when you rotate the quad, you can see that it rotates on the screen as well. So that's the accelerometers in there doing their job. So I'm going to go ahead and calibrate accelerometers. So I'm just going to set it on a level surface, hit this button. It's calibrated. Basically it's just told it what level looks like. And now I'm going to go in here to my receiver tab over here on the left and show you when I turn on my receiver, which it's not on, now it's on. You'll see that this is my pitch, roll, yaw, throttle, and before these two switches here, the two variable switches would change aux 1 and aux 2. Now I've got aux 1 and aux 2 set up. This is aux 1, which is switch A, and this is aux 2, which is switch B. So the reason that's important is you go in here to modes and you set up these two things. So to arm it, what I've done is, if you can see this little green dot here, this tells me where I'm at with aux 1. And when I switch it, you can see it switches from 1000 up to 2000. So by placing the these two levers in this green bar above the 2000, that tells me that when I switch it into the 2000 range, I'm arming, and when I switch it back, I'm disarming. So for angle mode, I've set it up to where when I switch aux 2 up, that is in this range, and so you can see that it's in angle mode, and when I switch it down, it's out of angle mode. So so it doesn't self-level when I switch it down. So basically my switches all the way up are disarmed and in easiest flight mode. Then I switch this to arm it, and then if I want to change flight modes to more complicated, I switch aux 2 down. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save over here, save it. And I'm going to go ahead, that's really all I did to it in CleanFlight. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect it, and let's take it up for a flight. Okay, so I've got my Fat Shark Dominator 2 goggles here. I've already got a signal. You may not be able to see it, but it's pretty easy to find. It is a 40 channel, 40 band transmitter, so there's a lot of different signals to choose from. But I've found it. It looks rock solid. Looks very good. I am going to go ahead and record a little bit with the goggles. And I want to show you one other thing first, though. So getting back to the quad itself and the cable management. So there is a lot of opportunity for blades to hit the cables, especially the two back blades. They are actually kind come in really close, so you just want to make sure to tuck everything in there really good before you take off so you don't chop any blades or chop any cables while you're flying. And then, as I said, this extra little bit of zip tie helped to kind of keep everything managed. I did push the balance port on my battery down through this little hole just to keep it out of the way, and then kind of did this little number up here with my battery cable. So, and because I have Velcro, the battery is sitting pretty well on there, but I'm going to go ahead and double up and put on the Velcro strap that comes with it as well. And so I'm going to flip my switch down here, and I'm going to pull the stick down and to the right, and then I'm going to give it some gas. And Tate, stay away from it because I'm not real confident with this one yet. I mean, don't get too close to it. So just flying it in angle mode first, and it's definitely pretty stable. Not a lot of room back here to fly it super fast, but enough to kind of get a feel for it. Tate, you have a lot of confidence in me. I appreciate that. Yeah. Picnic table. Oops. How's it look?
It's pretty heavy, you're right. Yeah, it's fine.
Can we bring it over here?
A little bit of the foam on the bottom.
Alright, so I ran it into a picnic table, but it seems to be okay. I was able to kill it right away. So overall, this little guy is pretty cool. I'm looking forward to getting it out and flying it around in a bigger space. But initial thoughts on it, it seems to have enough power to weight ratio. I know it's pretty heavy, but these motors seem to do just fine, at least for me. Definitely is cool looking, and the camera quality and the from the transmitter is pretty cool. Gonna leave a link down in the description if you want to check it out on GearBest, but definitely worth checking out. It is the P130 Battler, and it is designed for FPV racing. Requires a little bit of knowledge of clean flight and setting some things up in the controller, but nothing that you can't handle, especially if you go online and see how other people have done it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks to GearBest for providing this for us, and we'll see you next time on Ready Set Drone.